Alright, so first we're going to open FreeCAD. And hopefully everybody has installed. So we're going to create a file there, new, and do the same that we do for creating on part design. We're going to create a body, then we're going to create a sketch, right? So the way that we're going to sketch here, we're going to pick the first quadrant when x and y are positive. So we're going to draw it here, whatever we're going to draw. And you guys are going to understand why. Because this is how my model is on FreeCAD. But then when we bring it to the CNC table, now the CNC table is how? And you have the gantry here, right? That moves in Y, it moves in X, it moves in Z, right? So depending how you actually position your origin here, then now you're gonna have to position your gantry for the 0 to be on the back, you know, instead of actually being in this corner here, and then everything is gonna be going in the positive direction. So it's not mandatory, but it's a good practice. So when we're step by step, what's all that we have to have there? Everything that's gonna be beneficial for you to know. If we were to do it 2 years from now, again, have stuff on your step by step that's gonna help you remember, right? Yeah. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go on X and Y plane. Okay. Now we can just like throw in like a.
Where did you go to do that? Can we turn the lights off?
Hmm?
Can we turn the lights off?
Okay. Yeah. I can dim the glass too. That's all the power.
How did you get into your expect
Go back quick. All right, so I'm gonna go back to my model, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna delete my sketch. So I'm gonna create a sketch. I'm gonna X and Y plane, and then I'm gonna OK, and then now we're gonna be working on X and Y plane. So what I'm gonna use is this area, right? So I'm just gonna sketch something there. So let's see what's a good size for us today. Let's do 75 by 50. Okay, so let's do 75 there. I'm just making a rectangle. 75 by 50. And as I said, I'm gonna put this corner right there. So this is what? 75 by 50. Anybody has it in inches? This is in millimeters, right?
Did you say you want it in inches or in
No, in millimeters.
millimeters?
Yeah.
Mine's not showing the bars.
The what?
Mine's not showing like the red bars, like for the line.
I think yours might be a little older version. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna click here. You're gonna, oh no, wait, sorry, it's a different one. So we're gonna click here. And then now I'm just gonna do 75. And then now we just have to make sure
How did you highlight both of those points at the same time? Was that shift? How did you highlight both of those points at the same time?
Oh, you just click.
You can just click on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else? Everybody good? JR? Around? Josh?
I'm good, yeah.
Alright. Because the difficult part's not now. This is the easy part. Alright. So after we know, so imagine this is what we're gonna cut out, right? So the thickness of my piece there has to be a little thicker than my stock. Why is that? Why does it have to be a little thicker than my stock? Because sometimes when we put our board there, it's gonna go like this. So
If you're trying to cut all the way through, you're saying that we have to make this thicker.
and you want to cut all the way through. So we have to make sure we can go all the way through, right? So usually you get our stock, and you're going to go there. It is, let's say it's 12.6 millimeters, this board here. So let's say we're going to do 15, right? So I'm going to escape, and then I'm going to pad, and I'm going to say this is going to be a 15 millimeter pad. 15, yeah. And why 15? Because it's a little thicker than my stock. Is there a problem if I go too deep? Depending on my step down, which is after every pass that I cut, I go down. After I pass it again, I go down. So that's the step down. If my step down is actually, let's say 15 millimeters, then it's gonna go 15 by 15, right? But if my step down is actually 3, and I already cut the thing all the way through, I can just stop, you know? So I have to watch for that.
Selected object.
No, I just escaped and I clicked pad, and that's the only sketch that you have, so it's gonna pad. And then it's gonna, usually it defaults to actually 10 millimeters, and it just go 15. Yeah, let's see. Your part design, your sketch is there. There's something that's not there. There's something that's already open. See, it's down here. Let me see something. See, like you should have this. So now it's activated there. So I'm just gonna close this guy here. So now we're just gonna go pad. Cannot use type of method to get back to the button. This is our bar design. Body. See how like you have less options there now.
Thank you.
Good.
How far do you want us to extrude it? How far do you want us to extrude it?
15.
15.
Yeah. Because 15 is a little more than 12.6. That was the thickness of the stock, right? All right. So now, what we're gonna do is we want to put a pocket. We want to put a pocket on that face there, right? So we want to just grab any. So I'm gonna sketch on the face, right? So on this face, I'm just gonna put any shape there. So let's see. I'm gonna do this one. All right, so I can just put anything there. And this we're gonna say, so let's make a pocket of 5 millimeters. So it can be a rectangle, it can be a circle, whatever. We're just gonna pocket 5 millimeters. Like, and we just have to make it big enough. So we're gonna make some cuts there. Good?
How did you?
If you click on the face, and then you click on sketch, and then it's gonna sketch right on the face.
Do you do that while?
Anthony, good? JR? Good. Yeah, like that, let's make it a little smaller. Let's just like that, let's see. Down. Let's get out. I hate the power button is right by this. So we're gonna sketch right in the face. Sketch right there.
It does say there's an update, right? So I don't know. It's,
Yeah. Look like it's interesting how like see like how it's
so that's a form.
no like the color. You can.
Just
Oh,
that it was a
I
shape
no,
on
no,
the
I
face
think I
of
know,
it.
I think I know what it is. What is this? So we never go to Sketcher.
Okay.
We're always in part design. And then we click on top. And then we click sketch.
Okay. Then we go. I mean, it's in Sketch. It's just
Yeah, but like, but I didn't actually switch to sketch by myself. It yeah, that one switching to sketch. So
I had just seen that you were sketching, so I was like, oh, maybe I
Yeah.
don't get that.
so now when I escape, see how I go back to part design? If you go to, if you navigate to sketch yourself, then it's gonna create problems later. Yeah, and then we just go and make a pocket there, 5. Good, alright?
Good.
Josh? Yep. Yep. Alright. So, in case you are not in millimeters, whenever we go here to cam, there's other workbench, we're gonna have problems, right? So we want to come here on the bottom and click on this dimensions there, and we want to switch to metric small part CNC. So we click on the positioning there. This window is gonna pop up, and we're gonna go to metric small parts CNC. Good? All right, so I'm gonna select that one. If I don't select that, as soon as I switch to cam, it's gonna pop up a window and say, the CNC may not like this, you know, you should be running the CNC small parts. Okay, so now that we switch the units there, we're gonna go to cam, which is a completely different. You see that every time that you switch a workbench, your options here change up on top, right? So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create a job, and it's gonna say which solid do we want to use, and we're just gonna say, yeah, that's the only solid that we're gonna use. So that's what we got. Is everybody with me?
Can you do that for one more time?
Did you go to cam? Who said that? Okay. All right. All right. So now, this is the stock that we're gonna cut, and the piece that we're going to cut out of the stock, right? So when we look here, it says stock. So right now, I have 1 millimeter in X for each side, 1 millimeter in Y for each side, and 1 millimeter in Z of the stock for each side, right? So from my stock, do I have extra stock that I'm gonna cut in Z? In Z? No. We're not gonna, besides the pocket, we're not gonna come and smooth the top of my piece. Right? So we're gonna cut this piece out of this. But I don't have any requirement to make the top flat, right? If I do, I could say I have a 1 millimeter stock above my piece. So then the first thing that the first operation that we would do would be what? Clean up the top, right? We're not gonna do that in this case. So we can say there's no stock above my piece, and there's no stock below my piece, right? So we can come back here on the Z and say there's no stock above and there's no stock below. Okay? Look, what happens if I do 10 here? Did you see how that piece moves up like a 9 millimeters there? Because this square around is actually this. But for us, it doesn't matter, right? We just want to have one there because we just want to make sure it's going to cut it around. Good. Second thing, I would rather my origin to be on top of my piece. And then we go deep so much. Yep.
So I hit enter and lost that, like this.
So if I hit enter and I go back to this, you just go back to model and you double click job.
Model and what?
Job.
Oh, that should be the underneath pocket.
Yeah. So if for any reason you actually did okay, you just have to big and go back and double click the job. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna come back to this set. I'm gonna click link stock and model. What I want to do is I want to click right on the corner there, and I'm going to do x equals to 0, y equals to 0, and z equals to 0. And then if you guys look, now my origin is on top and not on the bottom anymore. So on set, we go link stock and model. We select the new position for our origin, and then we go x equals to 0, y equals to 0, z equals to 0. Good?
There's also a button at the bottom that says set origin in the layout. You can also click that and it'll do the same thing.
On this one?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Did it crash on you?
Oh, I was scrolling over top of things and it just went nuts.
All right. Now I'm gonna do OK. Now we want to go to our 2-bit deck, which this is the part that actually gives us trouble. 2-bit dock. We're gonna click there, and we want a window to pop up. A window that's gonna say you don't have any libraries. Did anything pop up on yours when you click on the 2-bit dock?
I'm getting an error.
What error did you get?
I'm getting none type object has no attributes set origin. I'm not, everything is exactly the same.
Oh, you can change the origin here. So,
I hit the thing.
okay. All right. So, did anybody get like a pop-up window, like saying something? Let's see if I if I can get on mine, so you guys can see. Move. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna get out of this. I'm gonna close, save. It's gonna be EME 298, spring 2026. Okay. All right, so let me find my FreeCAD, because I've done this one before, so I'm gonna delete this stuff. Okay. So let's go to FreeCAD again. So let's see, what version of FreeCAD do you have? Those numbers on top is like 1.02?
1.02.
1.0.
1.0.2.
So 1 point. And which one do you have?
1.1.
Does anybody have anything different? Or have those? Okay, I'm gonna open mine again and see if the error is gonna pop up. I don't know why now it's white. Oh, now mine is like yours.
Wait, I think I'm close my.
All right. So now if I click on the cam, oh, now mine is like yours.
That's what I got.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna figure this out together, I guess. Because what we want to do is create a new tool.
Ooh, FreeCAD is updated.
All right, so let's see. Add the tool bit. Let's click on that one. Renames the library, imports a library, exports a library. Where is it? Oh, yeah, mine just updated too. Let me make sure this in a small part CNC. Right.
Did you click the add tool button?
All right, so I click it on add a tool bit. So we're here. So how to get here? I went on Open Library Editor, and then I went to create a new tool. Okay, now we're gonna create a new end mill, and then it created there like a new tool bit. Okay, we're gonna double click that new tool bit, and then we're gonna change some settings there. Okay, so first we're gonna change the name. We're gonna do quarter-inch end mill. You can put it in name there, but like we're going to create a quarter-inch, right? So for us, what are the specifications that are really important here? Just the diameter, right? Because the other ones, like let's say cut height, that's the age. We can clearly like we are able to see if it's gonna cut through or not, right? Let's say that this is thicker, and see how on this end mill here, the diameter of the cutting edge is different than the diameter of the shank, right? The shank is actually larger than the cutting diameter, so I can't flange like this. Otherwise, what? This part is gonna hit the piece, right? So it's actually like a common sense that you can. But like, for example, if you have a shop and you have all these different kinds of tools with different materials, with different number of flutes and everything, you can just create all the tools that you really have. But for us, what's really important here is the diameter. So that's what we're gonna change for this one. So in FreeCAD, so this is in millimeters now, right? So I can come and do 0.25 space IN. And then it's gonna do 6.35, which is the same as a quarter-inch.
So what are we doing? Where are we going to like alter that?
So we're gonna go on the bottom left, open the library, and then we go on this one. It says, yeah, that one, and then we go end mill. So that's the new one. So you double click that one. Okay, so now we're gonna change the diameter. Yeah, and then if you do okay, see the next pointer. Was everybody able to get this done? No error? Anthony?
Yep.
JR?
Good.
Yeah, usually for the older versions, we had to actually make some changes on where the files are, so we'll be able to get to this. So that's good. Okay, so now we have that quarter-inch end mill there, right? So for one of the exercises, you guys are gonna create another end mill. So the same way that we created this one, you're gonna create like another one for the first exercise. Everybody's gonna create the same. Okay. All right. So I can exit out this. Exit. So now that we have the tool that we're gonna use, now we're gonna actually create the operations with the tool. Okay. So which operation do you think that's better? Should we cut this off first and then make the pocket? Or should we make the pocket first and then cut it off? Pocket first, right? Otherwise, your piece is going to be moving in there, right? So we're going to click on the bottom there of the pocket. Doesn't look like, but it's selected. And then we're going to come here and select pocket shape. If you go to base geometry, that's the first one there, it should show what's the shape that you have in there. If this shows nothing, then we can just click add, and then we can click there. It's being recorded, so then you can watch later.
Okay.
So click on the bottom and do the pocket shape. If nothing shows here, then you can still do add and click there. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Extensions. No, depths. All right. So this is the start cut depth. Where are we going to start? At 0, because our origin is up here. Remember, I put the origin up there. So we're going to start at 0. And where are we going to finish? Final depth is actually -5, right? Because that's the depth of the... So sometimes, instead of starting at 0, I think sometimes it's good to start a little above. So it'll take like a pretty much one pass that's not touching, and then the next pass it goes down and then it touches. So let's say we can come here and do like a start depth. For us to change any of these things, we have to click on the FX, and then we change whatever the expression is in here. So for example, if the operation start depth was 0, I did plus 3 millimeters. So then now the result is it's going to start at 3. And I can do OK. So now instead of starting at 0, where is it going to start? At plus 3 millimeters.
So mine are like grayed out, so you can't.
Yeah, so I have to click on the blue. FX.
Okay.
It's. Did you do 3 millimeters there? Okay. Plus 3 millimeters. Okay. The final depth we are not going to change, right? But what we can change is the step down, right? So let's say that my step down, we're going to do 3 millimeters. So I'm going to start on the first one, take a pass, drop down, take a pass, drop down, take a pass. Okay? If you'd like a final pass on the bottom, then we can do a finish step down. Let's say, do you remember that we take like a bigger cuts, and the last cut is usually is a finishing pass, right? So we can set it up here too if you want. Heights. Heights is for when the tool is traveling, either from home to our piece, or between the operations on your piece, right? So we would want to actually travel high so we don't hit anything, right? So we can go FX, and usually I do like a plus 20 millimeters on both. So it moves up like a 2 centimeters on both of these. Okay. All right. So operation. Now we're going to talk about the real operation that we're going to do. So now, which tool are we using? I want to have a new tool controller, which is my 1/4 inch. Add to job. So that's my tool that we're going to use. See? Tool controller, 1/4 inch end mill. Good? Okay. Coolant mode, none.
Wait, how did you change that? That tool.
I click it here, and I go to new tool controller. And then I select the 1/4 inch that we created before. The other way of doing this is actually if in the job, when we go to tools, we could actually have just like a change it to quarter inch here, and then the only option that will give me in the other one will be the quarter inch, right? So let's go back to our operation, the pocket shape. All right. So cut mode. Now the next one that's important is actually this pattern. So right now pattern is click on offset, right? So let's leave the way it is, right? So what are my options there? I have cut mode, pattern, let's see, step over of the ones that we're going to talk about. All right, so let's do OK. So now you should have this that's actually going to be the move of our tool to complete this operation. Does everybody got this? Lines here? In the past they were green, but now they're blue, I guess.
What was the step over percent? Is that what you were saying? Were we
Yeah,
supposed to change something percent?
we just leave that way, and we're going to talk about it. Okay? So now what we're going to do is I want you to click this button here. That's the simulator. We want to change the speed. And we want to play.
Well, where did you go from?
So let me close. This is the button. Simulator. Then we're gonna play. So this is pretty much everything that our tool is gonna do when we cut, right? This is what we should expect.
So,
But okay, so I'm gonna close.
so we're only taking the face of it first.
Well, I want to finish this thing. All right, let's see, close. How do I close this thing? Okay, so what if I go back to my operation here? Pocket shape. And now instead of offset, we're gonna choose another one. Zigzag. Apply. Can you see how those lines changed? So let's go back. Let's go back and look. Okay. Play.
Why did it change?
So what was the problem with that one? Was there any problem with that one? You missed some spots, right? Do you see how we're supposed to have this shape? And we ended up having, I don't know if you can see, but like this is supposed to be like this, and it's like that. And the same here on this side. The same on that side. So the one that we're gonna use is zigzag offset. Separate.
Okay,
So this one, you still have the first one, right? So if you double click on operations, so now we can just edit, you know. So like the other one that we tried was zigzag. If you apply, then you can see how the lines change.
Okay.
But like this one leaves some edges there. So we're gonna go zigzag offset. So the difference between the zigzag offset is actually like it goes down to cut, it does the zigzag, and then it takes one offset all the way around to thin the edges. So that's what the zigzag offset does. All right. So step over percent. So let's change and see. Can you see how many lines we have there? That's the center of my end mill, right? So let's see, step over percent, I'm gonna put 75. Apply. What happened there, do you think? I'm gonna go back, look how many lines we have. So we have 1, 2, 1 here, 4. Okay. Now I'm gonna increase this to 50 again, or decrease to 50 again. Oops. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Step over percent is if I come around with my end mill here, on my way back, how much should I overlap to make sure I'm going to cut it? Usually the default mode that comes on the older versions of this would be 100. See how many lines we have now?
3.
That means if I choose 100, I'm not overlapping anything. It's pretty much like this.
Efficiency.
You increase efficiency, but the problem is, so when we're cutting wood, and that happens similar to aluminum, most likely similar to steel. Imagine like you were cutting butter with a knife, and then you come like this, and then you cut it, right? So you started like this, you come with a knife, and you cut the butter, right? Do you have this? Hmm? So what do you have? You have this. Nothing wants to be cut, so sometimes it actually pushes some material to the side as it cuts. So if you do 0 overlap, when we come to cut this way, it's gonna actually push some material here. And when it comes to cut this way, the same material is gonna push it that way. So especially with wood, you're gonna have some fibers of the wood on the bottom, so it's not gonna be clean, right? So
Sandpaper.
I would say like if we go like a 75, that means we're gonna overlap 25%. If we're gonna make it more efficient, let's say, why don't we overlap just like a 15%, so we go like 85. When we apply, then the line changes, see? We have more passes. We have more passes than the 100, which is actually no overlap, and less passes than the 50% overlap. Good? So the same thing, if I go OK, and I go back to my simulator, play, I should be able to see the whole move there. So that's the zigzag, right? We still have the edges that we have to clean, and then it does an offset. So that's pretty much everything that that it's gonna do. It's gonna bring it up the same way. Cool. All right. So this was the pocket, right? So now we have to cut this piece off, right? Otherwise it's still on our stock there. So I have two options. I can either click on this face here on top, or I can click on all the sides. And I hit Control, click on the next side, click Control, go to the next side and click Control. See how I selected all four sides? And then we can go and we can select Profile. If you go to Base Geometry, it has all faces on the sides. So clicking on top is easier than clicking on the sides, right? The main difference is if I click on the side, the software knows what's the beginning and what's the end, right? If I just click on the surface on top, the computer knows the beginning, but the computer doesn't know the end because it doesn't know the thickness of your piece. Okay? So right now, if I go into my depths, see? It starts on top at 0, and then it finishes where? At minus 15. That's our thickness that we created our block, right? Can you see here? 515. Okay. So let me go to my operation again. So instead of actually clicking the sides, I'm going to click here on top.
I think you're upside down.
I think it's upside down, yeah. No. But it's weird how it's selecting the... Oh, it's yes, it's backwards actually. Now we're facing forward. All right. So now I'm gonna do the same, but now I'm gonna click the profile. right? Base geometry is just that top. And then now I have depths. What's my start depth? 6.35, and it finishes at 0. See how like it doesn't have any information about where's my top and where's my bottom. So you would have to actually manually come here and change, or what? Or select the sides. Okay, so this is the one side. Oh, the other thing that I can do too is actually like I click at that one side, and then we can just add the other sides later after we.
So you saved the sides and then what was it?
Hmm?
What do you do after you have the side selected? Where do you store it?
Then we click here on the profile. Again, base geometry, all four faces are there. Depths, it knows that I'm gonna start at 0 and I'm gonna finish at -15. Okay? So let's change this a little bit so you know that you guys can change. I'm gonna do 3 millimeters on the start depth. And the step down, it has like it's gonna step down every tool diameter. We're gonna change that. Let's do like a 3 millimeters again. So if I'm start at 3 and I'm gonna go to -15 and my step down is 3, how many passes around I'm gonna take? I think we're gonna take 6. But we started at 3, so we have 18. But every step down is gonna be 3. So every take a pass, step down, take a pass, step down, right?
Oh, so now I have 8 levels.
So if I apply, what's gonna happen? See that we have new lines there. But there's a problem, we're gonna fix it. What's the problem with these new lines that we put in? See these new lines that showed up? See how it's running my end mill on the inside of my piece instead of the outside? It's because when you come to operations again and we have some options there, you see, I gave him the face, but I didn't say, is it on the inside of the face or the outside of the face? Right? So we want on the outside and not on the inside. If we apply,
Where was this operation? Never mind.
see how now we're on the outside? Not on the inside anymore. And these are all the passes that we're going to take. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to take 6 passes to cut all the way through.
Why does it cut on the top? Like it takes it doesn't even take anything, it just traces it.
Because we told you to start at like a +3. Our first here is actually 0. We need to take the first pass at +3. So that's why it's taking one that's just flying. Right?
And why do we tell it to do that? Just
Because sometimes we're gonna make mistakes And then that's our
You can take-
insurance.
Is +3 a little excessive in terms of like doing it in real life?
I don't know. Like, for sure, it adds one more pass. If each pass takes like a 20 minutes, you add 20 minutes to your operation. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like where. So if I go okay, now if I go to my simulator, what's all that we're gonna do? Tool comes in. Zigzag.
When it does zigzag, does it go in like a rectangular zigzag like this, or does it actually go zigzag like a?
No, it's rectangular.
Okay.
See, like just like how it is here.
Yeah, I saw it, but I wasn't sure if that was because it's taking. Well, never mind. We said it
Yeah.
takes 75%.
Yeah. This is the center of the tool.
Yeah.
That pass there. But there's a. Is there anything that you guys think that's weird? That you wish you wasn't there? I hope you guys don't say me.
The round corners on the inside of
You
the.
see like how every time it does a zigzag, he goes all the way up, and then he moves, and then he goes down.
Didn't we set that like that?
Yeah, but like sometimes like it does that and you don't even know why it's doing, you know?
They didn't want to move it to you. It just stayed in the hole.
Why did it cut the first pass and still marked it as cutting something?
It's because like I added 3, but like the first pass that he does is actually he goes down. He goes down 3, so it was right on the surface.
I thought we had it +3. So
Yeah,
above.
yeah. So I thought it was going to be above 2.
Maybe the software doesn't bother to check if it's actually touching the part, it just draws it as blue.
Oh no, it doesn't. It doesn't
Mathematically,
check.
it's touching the part.
Yeah, it doesn't.
How would that?
3 minus 3 is 0, so it's touching.
Well, we're +3, not -3.
Yeah, we're
Plus 3, but then the cut is.
But then the
minus
cut
3.
is -3, right? Because every step down is 3. All right, so that's kind of like see. You finish it cutting the whole thing. Good. So, at least on the simulation, it looks good, right? Okay, so let's close. There's a couple more things for us to do here. Let's go back in the job. Under tools, we're using this tool, right? 1/4" end mill. We want to make sure we add speeds to it. H is how fast I want the tool to move in the horizontal axis. V is how fast I want the tool to move in the vertical axis. And spindle is how fast I want to make it rotate. Okay? So let's say we can go 800.
Where are we at for that?
We went to job and then tools. And then we go into the 1/4". Go 800, 800, 8,000. Our machine only works between 8,000 RPMs and I think like 20,000 RPMs. So 8,000 is actually the slowest that we can do. If you put less than that, it's still gonna run at 8,000.
And that is like, if you wouldn't set this, it wouldn't spin. It would spin at 0.
If you don't set this, it wouldn't spin.
Okay.
And if you don't put the H and V, it's gonna go at a random speed. So, yeah, we want to do that.
Why is it H and V instead of X and Y?
Because it's a horizontal or vertical. Otherwise, it's gonna be X, Y, and Z. You know. But anyway, so now let's go to output. We have to change this processor here. We're gonna have to select Centroid. Okay. The output file, I'm gonna click on these three dots there, and now I'm gonna say which file I wanna write when I export the G-code. So I wanna do EME 298 Spring 2026, but this name is too long. When you go to the machine, the machine can show like 5 characters. And then it's gonna show like a tilde, you know? So I'm gonna do like a EME 298 SP. Let's see if we can see all there. And I'm gonna see dot what? NC. So this is the file that's gonna be created. EME 298 SP.NC. Okay. Now this is my desktop, right? So I'm gonna save. It's not there yet. So let's put it here. So I'm gonna do OK. Now I'm gonna click on my job. And I'm gonna click on post process, which is that button right there. See, it has like your file and then an arrow for download or something. As soon as I click that button, this is the file, but if you go back into our desktop, it should have created the same file there. Because that's what we told it to do. Okay? Right there, that's the file. Right?
It was always there.
No, this one just came up there. So that's like a feather pad.
How did you get it? How did you get it to come up with this?
As soon as you click OK, so like there's gonna be that pop-up with the information. As soon as you click OK, it showed up on my desktop. Did you click the post process? So you go and you click on their job, and then you click post process.
Post processes? Yes.
Okay. And then now you go over. It's that button, but it's not. Okay, click that one first.
Let me do that.
Hmm?
They won't let me do that.
What?
Quick post process.
Did you click job?
Yep. And it won't let me select the job. I think it might just be error because I'm getting the error every time you're clicking.
You gotta click on job and have job selected.
Yes, I.
Yes.
Everything else looks like this.
Did you install it?
That's what I have to do. Is actually the computer was getting it. That's really again because you shouldn't get that errors.
Yeah, I don't.
You see that online, you get the.
Wait, did you
But
transfer?
how's it going around?
So you would even
JR?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
So do you remember that we're talking about what if we don't like something? You know, we can change. Right? So this is my file. The file is what? It's a text file, just like everything else. Right? And then each of these commands means something. And you have also all the comments, right? Everything that starts with a column is actually a comment there. So it's part of from FreeCAD. That's not a command, right? What's a command here? G90. What's G90? I don't know. So let's look it up. G code G90. G90 is a G code for absolute positioning. So it's just like a giving commands to the. And guess what? If I open the G code from a 3D printer, guess what? It's a G code just like this one. So sometimes when you don't like things on what your 3D printer is doing, you go there and you change on how your G codes are being written. So let's say, what's the first operation? So what do you think that this is? M3S8000.
8,000 probably is RPM.
Yeah, so then most likely M3 is spindle speed set. Right? I don't know. But most likely that's like, so like that. Sometimes you can just look and see what's.
14, I think, is the bit too.
Yeah, it was a 2. And most likely, see, T14 is equal to TC, but like this is a comment. Right?
Just to like let you know. Or maybe it's like FreeCAD has an option to do that if the CNC machine could change tools, and it will uncomment that if the machine can't. I don't know.
Yeah, so like so see like from G0 it goes to 25, which is our movement, right? Then it goes down, it changes X and Y, so it goes to a position, and then it goes to what? Same position, but it lowers to 23, and then what? And then on the same position, it goes to 0.
That's funny, my numbers are different there. Except for the 23 because my
Yeah.
octagon's
So then we go to 0, right? What's Z equals to 0? Right at the surface, right? So this is what? Let's say it starts here. This is the zigzag offset. What? First pass. Until where? Until after it finishes, it does what?
Yeah, 25.
It goes back to 25. So all this is the first pass.
So could we change that Z to 25 to keep it from raising up so far?
Or I can say from here, what if we don't go up? We just go, what if we delete these 2 lines? Or what if we delete these 3 lines? What is it going to do?
Why would it change slightly?
The x is changing, right? The y is changing, and the z is changing. So it's going to go from one position like this, it will go 80 down position. I don't think that's very positive. I would rather go back to the first position there, and then go down, and then do the work again, right?
So we could change X, Y because we wouldn't be cutting there.
Yeah.
We could change Z.
So see like we can always go in, and let's say, man, like it's taking, like I just have to do the last pass of this thing again. You just go and you manually delete stuff. Sometimes it's just easier just to go ahead and just like I added the G-code right there. And usually these things are not what people are used to do. People don't know what a G-code is. They know what a G-code is because when you export something from a slicer, the extension is .G-code. But like we want you guys to be comfortable to understanding this. Well, we are the engineers. We're not the operators. The operators, they got a degree from BSc. We are the ones that actually say, you know, something is wrong. Let's open the hood and see what's in there. You know? So just knowing how to operate is not enough because many of the other problems are not going to be fixable using the software. So you have to know how the files are written. And can I just I can just go ahead and write a file. You know what I mean? So again, a lot of our students they go and they change their own, you know, let's say Orca Slicer spit out something. Oh, but I don't like that my printer does this, that my printer does that, my printer does this other thing. Just go and change, you know. You get the file, you have a script. The script goes and change or add this header on your file. That's actually going to make your print in your printer even better than it is. You know what I mean? So, if you have this file, then you're going to bring it in and we're going to run it. Actually, you're going to run it. I'm going to have a video of how to run. You're going to watch. Then you're going to add more things to your step by step. So when you come, you're going to bring a step by step. Then you're going to run and cut your piece. Right? So this is exercise 1. We're going to have exercise 2 and exercise 3. But we don't have that many classes left. So what you guys are going to do is, at any time that you guys have free time, you guys can come and say, you know, I want to do exercise number 1. It takes if you know what you're doing, it takes 15 minutes. If you don't know what you're doing, then it might take a long time. So that's why I want you guys to watch the video of how to, it's going to be this is how you turn on here, this is how you turn on there. You're going to hit this button here. The machine is going to move to here. And then you're going to put your stock there. You're going to screw it in, you know. Just on the video, it's just me doing this. And then that's exactly what we're going to do when you go there. Good?
What should the step-by-step look like? Should that be should that include making the file, or should it just include what we're doing in the shop?
Was there anything that was important when you were making the file? Making the drawing on CAD? What was something that was important in CAD? When you're drawing in CAD?
Making sure the dimensions are the right.
Make sure you put on that first quadrant there. Some people, when they're going to design, they sketch on X and Z. So when you come here, your CNC thinks that your piece is like this. It's not going to work, right? So this is a good practice. When you create a sketch on X and Y. Put the coordinate right there. What else? Change to CNC small parts, right? On the dimensions here. What else about when you're designing? Our piece is what? 12.6. So you make your stock a little bigger. 15, 17, 18, I don't know. Right? So all these things are things that actually it would be better if it was on your step-by-step, because your step-by-step is gonna help you next semester when you come and you wanna use it. What I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna say, oh, I don't know how to use this. So just ask your friend that knows how to use it.
Is setting it at 15 thickness, is that gonna, I mean, that would affect how deep your pocket is, right?
Not the pocket, but it's gonna make sure it's gonna cut all the way through when it does the profile. Good?